You are diligently eating your greens, day in and day out, believing you are doing the absolute best thing for your health. You steam your vegetables, you plate them up, and you eat them, thinking you are fueling your body with premium nutrition. But what if I told you that the healthy broccoli on your plate is chemically dead before you even take a single bite? By the simple, common act of cooking it, you have unintentionally destroyed the single critical enzyme required to detoxify your liver. You are left with some fiber, sure, and maybe a few vitamins, but you have stripped away the pharmacological power that actually commands your cells to heal. This isn't just about wasted effort in the kitchen or wasting money at the grocery store. This is about a silent epidemic that is likely happening inside your body right now. It is known as metabolic dysfunction-associated steatotic liver disease, or MASLD. That is the complicated medical term, but simply put, it means your liver is suffocating. When your liver gets congested with visceral fat, it fundamentally changes its job description. It shifts from being your body's primary, high-performance filter to becoming a toxic storage unit. Think about the implications of that shift. Instead of cleaning your blood and processing fuel, your liver starts hoarding fat and toxins. This creates a state of chronic systemic inflammation that essentially locks your metabolism. It blocks your ability to lose weight no matter how strictly you diet, and it drains your energy reserves, leaving you exhausted and foggy by the middle of the afternoon. So, how do you know if your liver is struggling under this toxic load without getting an expensive ultrasound? Your body actually sends you specific signals if you know where to look. I want you to look at your hands right now. Are your palms unexpectedly red? Specifically the fleshy part below your thumb and pinky finger. That is a condition called palmar erythema. It happens because a struggling liver can't filter hormones like estrogen properly, causing the capillaries in your hands to dilate and turn red. Or consider this: do the soles of your feet itch at night? I don't mean from a bug bite or dry skin. I mean a deep, intense itch where there is no rash visible. These are not random annoyances. These are biological distress signals called pruritus. This happens when bile salts, which should be eliminated by your liver, start backing up into your bloodstream and depositing under your skin. Your body is screaming at you that the filter is clogged and eating dead vegetables isn't fixing the problem. To understand why your healthy habits aren't working, we need to decode a specific biological mechanism called the Glucosinolate-Myrosinase Axis. I know that sounds like a mouthful, but stick with me, because understanding this specific chemical reaction is the key to unlocking your liver's potential. Here is the science simply put: broccoli and other cruciferous vegetables are not just plants, they are chemical packages waiting to be opened. Inside every floret, there are two separate compartments. In one compartment, you have a precursor compound called glucoraphane. In the second compartment, you have an activator enzyme called myrosinase. When you eat broccoli raw and chew it, you break the cell walls, allowing these two compounds to mix. It is this mixing that creates the magic. They combine to form a brand new compound called sulforaphane. Sulforaphane is the master switch that turns on your liver's detoxification genes. However, there is a major flaw in this design when it enters the modern kitchen. Myrosinase is a protein, and like most proteins, it is incredibly sensitive to heat. It permanently unfolds, which means it dies and becomes useless, at temperatures above 140 degrees Fahrenheit or 60 degrees Celsius. Think about how you cook. If you steam, roast, or boil your broccoli, you are almost certainly exceeding that temperature. You are effectively sterilizing the vegetable of its pharmacological power. To visualize what is happening, I want you to imagine a tube of industrial epoxy glue, the kind you buy at the hardware store to fix heavy machinery. It always comes in a dual syringe. Tube A is the resin, and Tube B is the hardener. We all know how this works. If you squirt out Tube A, the resin, it is just a sticky liquid goo. It has the potential to become a rock-hard bond, but on its own it does nothing. It requires the catalyst from Tube B to activate. Now, imagine you are preparing to fix something vital in your house. You squeeze out all the resin from tube A onto a plate, but then you take tube B, the hardener, and you throw it directly into a fire. You incinerate it. Then you mix the resin around and apply it to the broken object. What happens? Nothing. It stays a sticky, wet mess. It never hardens. It never repairs anything. This is exactly what you are doing when you cook your broccoli without a plan. The broccoli fiber is tube A, the resin. You are eating bowl after bowl of it. But by cooking it, you have incinerated tube B, the enzyme. You are consuming inert material, wondering why nothing is being repaired inside your body. And this distinction matters, because we need to separate real detoxification from the marketing nonsense you see online. You have probably seen detox teas or liver cleanses sold on social media. We need to be clear, that is not detoxification. Most of those teas contain an herb called senna. Senna is a laxative. It chemically irritates the lining of your bowels to force your body to expel water. That is not a detox, that is dehydration. It is emptying your colon, not cleaning your liver. Real detoxification, the kind driven by sulforaphane, is elegant and cellular. When you actually get sulforaphane into your blood, it travels to your cells and locates a protein called NRF2. Normally, NRF2 is held hostage by a guard protein called ketone. Sulforaphane distracts the guard, freeing NRF2. Once free, NRF2 moves directly into the nucleus of your cell, the command center, and physically writes the code for over 200 different antioxidant and detoxification genes. It commands your body to produce its own glutathione, its own superoxide dismutase. It turns your cells into cleaning crews. But remember, this entire cascade, this entire genetic light show, never happens if you killed the enzyme in the microwave. The solution to this paradox is not to stop eating cooked vegetables and force yourself to gnaw on raw broccoli stems for the rest of your life. The solution is to outsmart the chemistry. We need to adopt a new guiding principle for your nutrition. Never eat a cooked cruciferous vegetable without a raw companion. If heat has touched your vegetable, you must assume the enzyme is dead, and you must manually replace it. Here is your 3-step action plan to turn that dead fiber back into a pharmacological tool. First, we have the al dente mitigation. How you cook matters immensely. You need to stop boiling your broccoli. When you boil vegetables, you aren't just killing the enzyme, you are leaching the precursor compound, a glucosinolate, out of the plant and into the water. You pour the water down the drain, and you are left with nothing. Instead, steam your broccoli, and do it for 3 to 4 minutes maximum. You want it bright green and slightly crunchy. This ensures that even though the heat kills the hardener, the enzyme, you have perfectly preserved the resin, the precursor. You are keeping the potential alive. Second, and this is the most critical step, is the resurrection sprinkle. Once your vegetables are plated and have cooled slightly, I want you to sprinkle half a teaspoon of ground mustard seed powder over your meal. This works because mustard seeds are cousins to broccoli. They are part of the same brassica family, and they contain the exact same myrosinase enzyme. But because the mustard powder is raw and dried, that enzyme is fully alive and dormant, just waiting for moisture to activate. Think back to our epoxy analogy. You cooked the broccoli, so you destroyed its original tube B. By adding the mustard powder, you are manually adding a fresh, fully functional tube B back into the mix. Science shows that this simple hack restores sulforaphane absorption by 400%. You are physically resurrecting the detox potential of the meal. Third, we need to talk about delivery. Sulforaphane is lipophilic, meaning it loves fat. It needs a lipid carrier to cross your gut lining efficiently. You cannot eat dry, steamed broccoli and expect maximum results. Drizzle your meal with high-quality MCT oil or add slices of avocado. I prefer MCT oil because it is unique, it bypasses normal digestion and goes straight to the liver via the portal vein. It provides clean fuel while acting as the shuttle bus for that restored sulforaphane. Now, a specific note on the tool you use. When I say mustard, I do not mean the yellow stuff in the plastic squirt bottle. Do not use prepared yellow mustard. That stuff is loaded with vinegar, and the acidity of the vinegar combined with the heat of pasteurization kills the enzyme. You are looking for high-quality dried mustard flour. The yellow tin from Coleman's is the gold standard here. It has to be the dry powder. If it doesn't have that sharp sinus-clearing kick, the enzyme is dead and the protocol won't work. Let's be very clear about one final trap that trips almost everyone up. You might be thinking, great, I have a jar of spicy mustard in the fridge right now. I'll just use that. Please do not make this mistake. The reality is that 99% of the mustard sitting in your refrigerator is biologically useless for this specific purpose. Commercial deli mustards are pasteurized, which kills the enzyme with heat, and they are suspended in vinegar. That acidity neutralizes any enzyme that might have survived. Here is the litmus test. If your mustard does not provide that sharp sinus-clearing heat that makes your eyes water, the enzyme is inactive. That heat is the chemical reaction of life. If there is no burn, there is no detox. And before you rush to the grocery store, I need to give you a serious medical warning. If you are currently taking warfarin, Coumadin, or any prescription blood thinner, you must consult your doctor before starting this protocol. Broccoli and mustard greens are incredibly high in vitamin K1, which promotes blood clotting. This can directly interfere with your medication, potentially rendering it ineffective or dangerous. You are using food as medicine, so you need to treat it with the same respect you would treat a prescription. For those of you cleared to proceed, I want you to really internalize this. You are not broken. Your metabolism is not slow due to age, and your liver is not failing you. You were simply sending your body incomplete instructions. You were sending the resin without the hardener. By manually adding this enzyme back in, you change your meal from a passive side dish into a pharmacological signal. You are no longer just eating vegetables. You are delivering a command code to your liver to wake up, clean house, and repair itself. So here is my challenge to you. I don't want you to overhaul your entire life overnight. I just want you to commit to the mustard sprinkle protocol for the next 14 days. Eat 1 serving of cruciferous vegetables every single day, but promise yourself you will never eat it without your sprinkle of mustard powder or a side of raw arugula to activate it. I want to know which activator you are going to use to bring your broccoli back to life. Are you joining Team Mustard Powder, or are you going with Team Raw Radish? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next video.